Weekend events happening like one night a week that just need an extra hand helping with adminning a tournament, writing the results on Twitter, or helping with the stream go live. And then someone's going to get to know you and they're going to trust what you've done, and the next time they need someone, they're going to call you up and say, "Hey, I'm going to pay you for this."
Hello, everyone. Welcome. On behalf of Esports College and Career Pathways, my name is Katherine Amoukhteh. I want to invite you and welcome you to Invent Global's Esports Academia Summit 2021. First, I want to give a shout out to Jessica Yip. She's not on camera right now, but she's been a great partner of ours. She also shares our commitment to helping students find their pathway from college to career. So, before we get started, though, I really want to thank our interviewers. We have 22 fabulous interviewers. And as I was looking through the list, it was like the Academy Awards for esports. Let's start these in alphabetical order. James Baker, Director of Esports Dignitas. Ryan Baker, Senior Production Manager, The Bragg House. Terrence Bonneau, Director of Business Development, Virtual Reload. Stephen Decker, Co-founder, Gaming at Work. Rebecca Dixon, CEO, Co-founder, The Gamehers. Dr. Dana Emerson, Dean of Instruction, Coastline College. Anthony Guerra, CEO, Esports Gear. Logan Hermis, Head of Operations, Minnesota Esports. Chris Hopper, Chief Operating Officer of Pipeline. Felix Lahey, CEO, founder, United Esports. Danny Martin, CEO, co-founder, Exposure. Vivian Nguyen, Data Manager, Team Liquid. Brett Payne, founder, Contender Esports. Dr. Alan Ritaco, Associate VP, Senior Fellow, Clark University. Edwin Romero, Producer Manager, Pro Guides. Jared Sammons, Director of Esports Operations, Virtual Reload. Jeffrey Schoonover, Managing Partner, Cloud Tree Ventures. Chris Slotboom, Co-founder, Gaming at Work. Aaron Sparkman, Director, Scoreside. Michael Swan, COO, RBG Esports. Kat Tompkins, Senior Public Relations Specialist, ASUS. And last but not least, Jeffrey Weiss, Founder, Esports Circus. So that's our a fabulous lineup of interviewers. Without them, we wouldn't have an event today. And I really, really, truly, bottom of my heart, thank them for their time, their effort, and their support of our program. But before that, I want to do a couple of housekeeping things. So for those of you who are watching and you have pre-qualified or been pre-approved to be our interviewees, please remember that after our keynote speaker with Heather, that you go directly into my meetings, and there will be a list of your interviewer schedule. Just follow through them. I just want to let you know that we are at 15-minute maximum interviews. The system will drop you off automatically at the end of 15 minutes, so please plan accordingly. I don't want you to be cut off. And then after your interview schedule is complete, please feel free to continue and join the rest of the summit. Okay, so for our keynote speaker, Heather, I've known Heather for a couple of years now. We met actually in LA at the Dignitas facility, I believe. So Heather's resume is so long, but I just want to say a couple of things about her. She's a VP of talent at Dignitas currently. She's a former professional gamer and world champion. She's the very first woman indicted into the Esports Hall of Fame in 2019. And this is hot off the press. As of last Saturday, she was inducted. Oh my God, that's a slip, right? Inducted into the Women in Games Hall of Fame. Okay. Welcome, Heather. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks, Catherine. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
So our first question is, can you tell us can you give us an idea of what your path and how you got to esports?
Well, it is a long path. I've been in esports now for 20 years, and this will date me. But I always liked games when I grew up. Like your um, I don't know, Nintendos and all that, and I'd play that casually with my brother and friends, but I never really thought much of gaming beyond that. I was a multi-sport athlete in high school, and one summer I tore my MCL and I was out for the summer. And I was stuck at home, and my brother would bring his friends over, and they'd have LAN parties. I thought, oh my god, this is this is so nerdy. But I'm a competitor at heart, and I never wanted my brother to be better than me at anything. So um, eventually begged him to let me try the games on his computer, and we were playing Counter-Strike at the time, and turns out I was pretty decent at it. And this was all secret, of course. None of my friends would know this. I would never tell them at the time. Um, and go to tournaments here or there around the Midwest and started winning a couple $100, and that's pretty good for a high schooler. So I kept at it for a few years, and the quality of tournaments I went to kept increasing, and traveling down to different events. Like in Texas, there's an event called the CPL, and we made a whole family vacation out of it too, to drive there. And we really thought we were going to win it all, because we won all the tournaments in the Midwest. And yeah, we finished dead last. Didn't win a single round against a team against from Norway, but it motivated me even more. So kept playing. I always knew I wanted to go to college too, so I went to school at the University of Wisconsin. Um, and while I was at school, I became a pro gamer. And my time at school, there was like, I know there's all these um, all these collegiate programs that exist now that never happened in my day. Like the best we had was like 1v1 tournaments for $25 Best Buy gift cards. And I was like, that was amazing too, that they even supported that. And now you can get scholarships. But I kept playing, I kept getting better at it. Joining bigger and bigger organizations, eventually getting a salary to play, getting paid travel to travel across the world and compete. And I was always doing things on the side too, trying to find my space in like the marketing world of, this thing called Twitter came out, and I thought, oh, maybe I can like live blog, I was calling it at the time, from events. And I'd bust out Twitter and start tweeting from events and sharing photos there. And no one was writing about Counter-Strike Source at the time, so I started writing about Counter-Strike Source. So I just try to do all things esports. It was in 2012 that I eventually won the Women's World Cup, so it's a major championship. And then I eventually found my way to Dignitas, because I was a pro player with a team called Team Karma. And one day we get an email from the Philadelphia 76ers saying, we want to buy your women's esports team. I'm like, what? I mean, that was like, it wasn't until like that time, this is 17 years later, that I felt like I finally made it. And then I finally felt like proud of what I did. And I was always a traditional sports fan too. And I'm like, wow, a traditional sports team is supporting esports. It felt amazing. And now I, well, obviously with COVID, I don't travel as much anymore, but I used to, and hopefully soon travel the world, talking about esports, creating content around esports, working with teams, creators. It's been a hell of a ride, and I love every minute of it.
Wow. So started out as being a nerd. How funny, huh?
A closet nerd, though, a closet nerd. I would never tell anyone, but now I know. Now my fam like, I was just in Berlin for the Valorant Masters, if anyone knows what that is. And I brought my mom with. She was so excited to go and be there. And I used to be ashamed of it, and now it's something I'm incredibly proud of.
Oh, thank you very much. And I think that there's a lot of people out there, I think they feel the same way, I think. Okay, so my next question to you is what do you see as the industry trends for the next 12 months?
That's a good question. At least I do a lot in the women's space. And it wasn't until this year, truly this year, that I've seen so many women start to compete, start to live stream, start to work in this industry. I used to be the only woman in the room, and it was always an awkward feeling. And now I'm sitting in the Dignitas facility right now, and our women's Valorant team is competing in a $50,000 tournament right now. There's 31 other teams in Europe next weekend. There's going to be 52 women's teams playing. In Brazil, there's 128 women's teams playing. This is incredible. Like, this has never happened before. And the amount, I think, going forward the next 12 months, we're going to see so many more organizations commit to supporting women's teams. And all the esports organizations, they're smart. You like they're going to look bad if they don't have a woman or two on their roster. But previously, it was kind of like checking that box, like, yep, diversity, we do it. But I think in the next 12 months, we're going to see real investment into the women and into the scene. Again, like we have our women's team here. Our sports psychologist is here yesterday. We have a team chef that is supporting them with healthy meals while they compete. They're going to be doing all this incredible content. And so these are the same resources that we provide our men's teams, and I think that's very important. It's no longer just going to be checking that box. It's going to be real investment into the women's scene. And then related, I see a lot of investment into like obviously collegiate esports, high school esports, and I think we're going to start to go even earlier than that, because the people like my age are starting to have kids and they're like, yeah, we love gaming. We want our middle schooler to play in the little league of gaming. So I think that is going to start to grow too, because all the people my age starting to have kids, and we get it and we want to support it.
Right, and that you s yes, exactly, not like your parents who, you had to sell it, right? Convince them that it's a
A
real thing.
lot of convincing, many
Yeah,
years of convincing.
right, and first of all, I wanna say, Heather, thank you, personally, really, thank you for standing up and really, shining some light onto the issues that we always talk about, okay? Um, so the most of our audience here are high school and college students, so can you give us some real tangible ways that you think that they can do right now to break into the
Mhm.
industry?
Great question. I do a lot of hiring in terms of employees and players and creators. The thing that and by the way, when we post a job, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of applicants, and it's so difficult to sort through that. So the thing I look for is, what did you do different? What difference are you making for the esports community? And it doesn't have to be major. Like I said, I busted out my phone when this Twitter thing was new, and I just started writing tweets, and that got me a lot of contacts at tournament organizers like ESL to start doing work with them. Um, there is so much undiscovered territory in esports that people aren't doing or talking about yet. And like, here's a free one. Like, I always think there should be, like, TikTok's huge now. There's got to be like a 60-second TikTok show each day of like, here's the 6 things in 10 seconds each of like that's happening in esports right now. There's a lot going on. It's hard to digest, and people don't want to watch TV broadcasts about it or read really long articles. They want really quick information, and I always think like maybe that's just something that can be done. But there's just, I promise you, there are an infinite amount of things. Every single day, I have a notepad that I just write like, "Oh, why is no one doing this?" Or "Why is no one talking about this in esports?" Or like, "What's something you want to know about and someone's not doing?" Like, there's so many like tools out there and resources and information that people want, and you can be the one that to share it to the world, and that's just going to set you apart from the other candidates, because there's going to be thousands. And then don't be shy to like hit up LinkedIn. Um, a lot of gamers don't use it as much as maybe like Twitter, but hit up Twitter DMs. Don't be shy about it. We get a lot. We get a lot. Don't be shy about DMing us. Even an open message is saying, "Hey, if you don't mind checking your DMs," helps show that you have initiative and you're excited about the position.
Yes, and Heather, that's really great advice. And I think I'd like to unpack a couple of things there, right? So first is like the red zone channel. You're thinking that, basically
Mhm.
I don't want to go through hours and hours of headlines and news. So like tell me in 60 seconds, what's the hottest thing? What's the coolest thing?
Exactly.
And the other thing sounds like that networking is something that, you really believe in, right? So I think that I've heard somewhere, that, don't be afraid to do free work, but not free work, but volunteer. If you
Mhm.
see something that's needed or that's not done, like you said, volunteer, be the first to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to, take a on a 6 month or 1 year unpaid internship. That's hard. That's not sustainable. But there's millions of different weekend events happening like one night a week that just need an extra hand helping with adminning a tournament, writing the results on Twitter, or helping with the stream go live. And then someone's going to get to know you and they're going to trust what you've done, and the next time they need someone, they're going to call you up and say, "Hey, I'm going to pay you for this." So yeah, don't be shy about volunteering your time. You don't have to do it in a year. I couldn't work unpaid for a year. I don't know how many people could, but just those one-off events, that's going to get you great experience and great connections.
Right, right. And I really like that your idea of how networking and just, DMing people and just reaching out, right? Because all they can do is say no,
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
in this day of, being everything being virtual and electronic, they can't kill you. They can't even laugh at you even.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, so my last question to you is that since because of our audience, right? Do you have any entry level jobs at Dignitas that's available now, and what advice would you give them as how what are you looking for?
Yeah, we've got a few. The first one is just we were looking for writers, so we have paid writers just to talk about esports. All of our pros are contracted to do tips and tricks guides every single month about the game that they're experts in, but they don't like to write. They just want to talk and say, here's hey writer, here's all the really important things you need to know in this game. And so we've got writers that do that, and that's again a great entry point. Oh gosh, I wish I had the list. There's like at least we've had a really successful website over like 15 years. There's at least like 25 names that used to be writers for Dignitas that are like now like some of the most important people in the industry. It's incredible, but um, we're always looking for great social media folks, and again, we want someone that's different, that understands trends. A lot of the social people that get hired have their own like channels that they're just curating like silly memes of different games, and then we're always looking for graphic designers too, and then editors too for our content. So those are all like entry level positions that we have paid internships before for, where you can just get your foot in the door and do some paid work for 3 months, 6 months. And actually today we promoted two of our paid interns to full-time
Yay!
employees. We were very excited to announce that to the group. So yeah, there's real growth trajectory here.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. So, a couple of things. Well, first of all, Heather, thank you so much for being here today. It means so much to us for you to not just speak out for the women in gaming world, but just gaming in general. And we've had many talks about providing a safe and supportive environment for gamers to flourish in and to grow from career, from college to career. So, thank you.
It
Um,
was my honor.
and so, a couple of things I want to say was that I forgot to mention that if you're not already registered for the Invent Global event, please do so. inventglobal.com/IGAS. Okay. First thing. The second thing is some housekeeping notes that if you're pre-approved to be an interviewee, please be sure that after the conclusion of this keynote speaker session, that you go to your meetings and you will see who your interviewing schedule looks like. And please note that there are 15-minute maximum. So plan accordingly. The session will close on you if you go beyond the 15 minutes. Okay. So thank you so much for everyone for being here. Special thank you to Heather for being here, and also all of our interviewers. We are on behalf of Esports College and Career Pathways. We thank you. We thank Invent Global for hosting this speed interviewing round. I think this is one of a kind. I've never seen this done on other platforms before. And I think this really gives our students, and recent grads some real life experiences, like Heather says, so they can, kind of build that portfolio, get some experience, and break into the industry. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure.